I'm going to rank all of the Black Ops 4 Zombies wonder weapons from worst to best. They'll be judged on how well they do past round 35, where the zombies' health caps out at 11,272 points. Perks like Bandolier Bandit that give you more rounds to your guns, power-ups, and any glitches you can perform with the weapons to make them more viable will not be considered in the ranking. I'm going strictly off their full upgraded damage numbers, safety, ammo count, and unique abilities and hidden statistics to keep it fair and consistent. All credit goes to Staminabs for the idea and the format. I really enjoy his videos and I wanted to make my own since I'm very passionate about Call of Duty Zombies. On with the video. Unfortunately, the original ray gun can't get much better than Dead Last. Although it's more powerful than its World at War to Black Ops 3 predecessor due to the health cap at round 35, every other option in the game is, quite simply, better. It has the exact same damage values and ammo count from previous games, with 240 rounds when upgraded and dealing 3,000 points of damage with each laser. Being able to kill a single zombie in 4 shots, it can stack up 60 zombies with all of its ammo. It obviously can't get you out of a tight spot in the good old ray gun tradition, so it's the reddest of the red when it comes to safety. The Savage Impaler is an NX Shadowclaw from Black Ops 3 Zombies that got sent back to 1912, and you can really tell because this thing is doo-doo butter butt cheeks. I don't know the exact damage values, but if I were to guess, it's a slight improvement over the ray gun for its vampire and werewolf slaying properties. It's no longer dual wield, but has a fast fire rate and packs a lot of ammo. It will always be a one-hit kill against regular and crimson vampires and shreds werewolves, which is why it ranks above the ray gun, but that's about where the positives end. It's wildly inaccurate and barely does jack to zombies by the early 20s. Don't be fooled, the only reason I got out of this corner is because of all my perks. An Easter egg quest should not be this complicated for a wonder weapon as weak as this. The X variant of the Raygun Mark II upgrades is the worst of the 4, although I do love these purple full auto laser beams. When upgraded, it becomes dual wield, doubling its ammo and fire rate, but destroying its accuracy. It may have close to 400 rounds total, but each one deals 2,700 points of damage, taking 5 shots to kill a single zombie. Not only do you have normal zombies to worry about, but you also have Nova Crawlers as well, so you're basically guaranteed to miss a few bullets. You could probably pull off 70 kills total at absolute best going all Rambo with these things, but it's a long shot and not worth using compared to the other Raygun Mark II variants in Alpha Omega. Like this one, the Shotgun Z variant is a clear step above X, even though each round deals 1,500 points of damage compared to X's 2,700. Z also has significantly less ammo at 173 total rounds. The difference is that Z can penetrate up to 3 zombies, so if you're accurate enough, you can deal 4,500 damage in a single go. Speaking of accuracy, you won't have a problem there, as you can actually aim down sights with Z and save yourself many more lasers. And finally, its kill count can actually reach the triple digits, clocking in at 230 zombies. It won't be able to save you if you're boxed in though, since it's too weak by the time the health cap comes around. The poison upgrade for the Kraken, Jormungandr's Fang, holds a total of 108 rounds and can dish out 2,800 splash damage, along with 4,000 on a direct hit, equaling 6,800 with each cannonball. It will take 2 shots to kill a zombie, but compared to most of the other Kraken upgrades, this poison one knocks the zombies on their ass with the first round. This makes the weapon surprisingly safe for its inferior damage compared to the other Krakens, but you're gonna be running out of ammo the quickest since you have to keep shooting into the horde. It can rack up 288 kills with all its ammo, which is weak sauce, but believe me, the other variants are more impressive. The fire variant of the Kraken, the Breath of Leviathan, is a bit better than Jormungandr's Fang, but not by much. It has the same amount of ammo as its poison relative, but the projectiles are awkward to understand and get used to, as they diverge at first, then meet their way back to each other far away from where you shot. You have to shoot it a bit farther away from the horde to hit them dead on, as the bulk of its damage comes from direct hits at 4,000 points. It has 3,800 splash damage on top of that, totaling 7,800 per shot, and taking 2 shots to kill 1 zombie. It may sound good on paper, but I could barely kill a horde consistently during my time using this thing though, so I'll say you can score around 320 solid kills with it. This is definitely my least favorite elemental Kraken of the 4, before, and it felt unsatisfying to use in the higher rounds. The Black Ops 4 Sweeper is a solid improvement over the Black Ops 2 version due to the health cap. It's a bit different from the one in Mob of the Dead though, holding 122 rounds and dealing 5,000 points of damage with each of its 7 bullets that it fires. That may equal infinite damage, but you have to make sure your aim is on point, as well as take its quite sluggish reload speed and total ammo into account. It also can only penetrate so many zombies at a time. Remember, this thing only has 2 rounds in its magazine and is a single shot weapon. You're gonna go through your ammo in the blink of an eye and get dropped by the zombies like a bad habit if you get stuck. It can still potentially round up 366 kills at the end of the day, which is pretty good considering it could barely hold its own through the 40s in the original game. It's also really good at knocking the Warden on his ass, but the Acid Gat still remains the better of the two. Go figure. Nine's very own Death of Orion is an electrified scorpion that can fire a single bolt, dealing 4,000 points of damage, or charge up to create a Wunderwaffe chain lightning effect. 300 damage per second for 20 seconds. The single shot can kill 1 zombie in 3 rounds, but the charge is obviously the main topic of discussion here. This ability will take 2 charges to kill after the health cap and can net you around 440 kills altogether. This may seem really good, but the problems with this weapon lie in its ammo count at only 91 rounds, and that charging the shot consumes 5 rounds each time you use it. On top of that, there's absolutely no hope for this little guy in a corner, so you're instantly dead meat. I know about the rapid fire glitch you can do, but that obviously wasn't intended and it's not fair to include. Dealing 6,000 points of damage per charge and using 5 rounds each time you do is just not worth it, especially when the Helion Salvo exists on the same map. I may be crazy for putting it this high, but hear me out. The original Raygun Mark II is just as solid as it was in past games. It deals 4,600 points of damage with each of its 3 lasers, has an increased ammo capacity of 296 rounds when upgraded, and still retains its outstanding 21.7 times headshot multiplier. And that's the reason why it's above Jormungandr's Fang, Breath of Leviathan, the Death of Orion, and the Sweeper in my book, dealing a little under 100,000 points of damage with just 1 laser being a headshot, and 300,000 per burst if they all land. This effectively gives it infinite damage, easily killing any zombie on any round while only being able to take out just under 300 in total. The OG Mark II obviously can't save you much better than the weapons before it, and most of the ones after it actually deal infinite damage and are more ammo efficient, so I can't place it any higher than this. The gauntlets from Ancient Evil are all extremely similar. When fully upgraded to their exalted forms, they all carry 50 rounds, deal infinite damage, and kill the same amount of zombies on average, except for one of them. With that being said, however, the Hand of Ouranos is objectively the worst of the 4. But don't be fooled, because this thing can still put plenty of work in and is more than usable. Ouranos is comparable to the Thundergun in terms of its effect, pushing the zombies back with a wind vortex for as long as the player holds down the fire button. It takes about 3 rounds to kill a whole horde. Sometimes you'll get all of them, other times you'll have a few left. It can stack around 380 kills in total, give or take. Not bad at all. It's just the random element of Ouranos is what puts it at the bottom, and because it goes through its rounds the quickest out of the 4 gauntlets. The Hand of Gaia places higher than Ouranos in my opinion, since you just have to charge and aim in a straight line at the horde, not banking on taking them all out at once. Gaia kills about the same amount of zombies as Ouranos, at a consistent 384 with its Earthquake Pillars of Doom. The Hand of Hemera is above the previous gauntlets for 2 reasons. It can deal infinite damage with both the single shot and charged up shot, and the Sunbeam you summon from the sky can kill an extra 3 zombies with its last round. This puts the Light Gauntlet at 387 kills with all 50 uses. Like Ouranos though, you have to aim the Pillar of Light perfectly to make the most out of it, so I'd argue that Gaia could be a step above Hemera, but regardless, it's the last one of the 4 that blows the other 3 out of the water. The base upgrade of the Kraken, the Kirin Chrome Crasher, is neck and neck with the grip of a Korokamoi in terms of damage and total kills. 7,700 on direct hit with 2,500 splash damage on top, totaling 10,200 points. It may have less damage than the Ice Kraken, killing a horde with 2 rounds after the health cap, but it has 4 extra rounds with 108 to play with. Unfortunately, since you can only kill a zombie in 2 shots, this painfully minuscule ammo increase doesn't really make a difference. I'd say you could squeeze out around 500 kills with this menace, but there's little reason to use the Chrome Crasher since it's inferior to the grip of a Karu Kamui. Speak of the devil, this Japanese legend contains 3800 splash damage on top of its 7700 direct hit, equaling 11,500 points, just enough to kill around 35 zombie in one shot. The issue is that it doesn't really affect an entire horde when you shoot it, leaving a few still alive, and when the cannonball lands, it creates a mini Zaymor storm from Elden Ring that only slows down zombies and does nothing outside of that. Kind of underwhelming as a wonder weapon, but it can definitely put in more work than the previous 3 variants, killing up to potentially 520 zombies at absolute best and being short of the #1 Kraken upgrade. This thing is definitely not a bad pick if you're a fan of ice attacks. But if you're really a fan of the cold, go with the Winter's Howl instead. Yes, you heard me correctly. One of the worst wonder weapons in COD Zombies history suddenly becomes one of the best, being just shy of the top 10 and beating out 4 Kraken upgrades and 3 gauntlets. I am so happy to give the Winter's Howl its flowers, as it was one of my personal favorite wonder weapons back in the day in terms of design and concept. Armed with a whopping 81 rounds, double that of its 5 predecessor, it deals a solid 3,000 points of damage per round, 600 more than its original 2,400. This means that it only takes 4 shots to kill a zombie past round 35, allowing the Winter's Fury to rightfully rake in 486 kills before needing a re-up. But it doesn't stop there, because the zombies actually get slowed down and immobilized by the snow, hence the Fury part in the gun's name like it should have been back when Castro used it. This beauty really does have it all. It packs lots of ammo for some much needed longevity, dishes out respectable damage that it sorely lacked, and is extremely safe to use, for real this time. Entering the top 10, we open up with the last gauntlet in Ancient Evil, the Hand of Charon. This is by far the best out of the 4 due to the way you use it. Instead of a charge attack that you hold down for a continuous effect, like Oranos or Chimera, Charon uses its 3 rounds to create a puddle of blood that attracts zombies and pulls them down into oblivion. No randomness, no precise aim. Pick your favorite camping spot and let her rip. The puddle lasts the longest when Charon is fully upgraded to its exalted form, 15 seconds for redeemed form, and 20 seconds for exalted if I remember correctly. This devilish concoction of infinite damage, long-lasting effect, and ease of use allows the Hand of Charon to claim 550 zombies. This one singular gauntlet can kill more than 24 zombies at once, which is another reason why it's incredibly valuable compared to the other 3. The infamous Thundergun makes one last return in Tag der Toten, bringing it back to the good old days. It's identical to its Black Ops 1 and 3 counterparts, with 28 rounds and spitting infinite damage when ascended to the Zeus cannon. It can still rip through 672 zombies with its effortless sonic booms and remains mind-numbingly safe as always. Not much more to be said than that. It's our childhood in its purest form. If you can believe it, there is indeed a universe where the Acid Gat ranks higher than the Thundergun, and we are currently living in it. Thanks to the health cap and some tweaks to its damage, the Vitriolic Withering is new and improved since its debut appearance in Mob of the Dead. It fires 3 acid Semtex grenades that will attract zombies and explode after a few seconds, adding up to a massive 22,500 points from the direct hit and the splash damage. Although that's a pretty number by Black Ops 4 standards, the bombs have a small blast radius that struggled to kill a full 24 zombies, disposing of around 15 on average. The explosion also damages the player, so you're basically forced into rocking PhD to make it less of a pain. Despite these setbacks, it has a sizable 51 rounds that can run up a pleasant 765 kills if you're efficient enough. If not for the new Blundergat upgrade introduced in Blood of the Dead, this would be the obvious choice between it and the Sweeper. I don't blame Alistair for valuing this weapon over his entire mansion, cause it absolutely tears through zombies, werewolves, and vampires alike. Alistair's Annihilator is not just your average everyday revolver. There's a twist. When you charge it up, it randomly gives you one of 4 distinct fire modes: the Tornado, the Mind Control Goo, the Fire Orb, and the Green Shrink Portal. All of them deal infinite damage and can kill 24 zombies at once, but the trade-off is that you use up 3 rounds every time you charge it. It takes a big chunk out of your 108 total total rounds, but even so, it allows the Annihilator to compile a massive 864 kills. Once you get your shot off, it can save you no problem, just make sure that you have a charge ready in case you get trapped. It's an ache in the balls to get, but it's well worth it. Beauty of Annihilation takes on a whole new meaning. Honorable mention, since I know people will comment about this weapon if my video gets any attention. The Helion Salvo is not an official wonder weapon, but it has the look, name, and damage of one. It's a rocket launcher that's actually good, unlike every rocket launcher from past games that just got you killed more often than you kill zombies. It's capable of shooting 36 rockets that deal infinite damage. You have to dedicate a slot to PhD in order to make it safe, but other than that, it's easily one of the best weapons in the game. One rocket can wreck shop and eliminate a whole 24 horde of gutter slugs. This is why I'm not entirely opposed to a health cap in COD Zombies, as it gives every weapon more time to shine that would otherwise become obsolete by the mid-30s. If I were to rank it somewhere in the list, it would be right after Alistair's Folly and before the next entry. A spin-off of the Thunder Gun, the Tundra Gun not only rivals the original model, but surpasses it. Its giant snowballs deal infinite damage, instantly freezing an entire horde on the spot. You have to treat it like a rocket launcher instead of a Thunder Gun, because even though they look the same, they function completely differently. The snowballs need to be shot at the ground to kill the zombies effectively, not directly at them. When upgraded to Borea's Blizzard, it has 36 rounds, beating out the Zeus Cannon's 28. It's basically a Helion Salvo minus the splash damage, so you don't have to dedicate a slot to PhD for it to not be a health hazard. Its total kill count matches Alistair's Annihilator too, clocking in at 864 and eclipsing the Zeus Cannon by 192 zombies. But if things weren't overpowered enough, let's kick off the top 5 with the third and final wonder weapon on Tag der Toten. The Wunderwaffe DG Scharfschütz is the canonical predecessor to the DG2, and it shockingly, no pun intended, outclasses the OG that we all know and love. Scharfschütz in German translates to sniper or marksman, and Funkenschütz, the pack-a-punch name, to spark shooter, since they both force you to improve your aim if you want to get that sweet signature chain lightning effect. When upgraded, the Funkenschütz can kill up to 12 zombies per headshot, a whole 2 more over the classic Wunderwaffe. If you land a body shot, you'll only kill 6, but at least they both deal infinite damage. But what also sets the DG1 apart from 2 is its hefty ammo count of 96 total rounds. This marks the first wonder weapon on the list that's able to reach the quadruple digits, coming in at 1,152 kills, if you manage to land each and every headshot. It's definitely not the safest thing in the world though, so it's hasta la vista if you get cornered. Finally, for the love of God, I can be positive about a Kraken upgrade for once. Inkinyamba's Roar is the electric variant and effortlessly runs laps around the 3 other elementals and the base upgrade. It's the safest of the Krakens while also dealing the most damage, with 5,700 points per round frying a whole horde in just 2 shots. Therefore, it can reliably gain you a titanic 1,296 kills. You have to time the second round as the horde gets up off the ground to finish them off. Speaking of which, Inkinyamba's Roar is even better at stunning the zombies than Jormungandr's Fang, projecting a shockwave with every shot fired. It will stun and or knock the zombies down without fail, putting it on par with some of the classic panic buttons like the Thunder Gun and the Wave Gun. Definitely the go-to Kraken upgrade on Voyage of Despair by a country mile. Blood of the Dead introduced a new upgrade variant of the Blundergat, and it definitely gives the zombies in Warden a warm welcome. The Magmus Operandi is a distant cousin of the Vitriolic Withering, shooting a ball of magma that attracts nearby zombies, melting their decayed flesh within seconds. It may have the same amount of ammo as the Withering with 52 rounds, but it's the only Blundergat upgrade to deal infinite damage and that can consistently take out 24 zombies with one shot. The magma does cause chip damage to the player, but it's barely even a hurdle. The Monkey Bomb effect that it has can only attract around 10 to 12 zombies at most, so you might have to shoot twice to kill 24 sometimes. But if you train and shoot in just the right spot, you can wipe the floor with a whole horde. The Magmus Operandi can also burn the Warden to a crisp, as the magma's residual damage deals 1,900 points per second. All in all, this magma machine can incinerate a gargantuan 1,248 freak bags with its measly 52 rounds. It's the Blundergat that we, the fans, deserved and the one we needed. The Raygun Mark II-Y is bananas. It shoots orange blobs of energy that devastates anything it touches, dealing infinite damage in the process. You have 54 of these orange balls of destruction, meaning you can earn an astronomical 1,296 kills with it. Not only that, but it's also the safest wonder weapon of all time, because the splash damage doesn't hurt the player. Without PhD, I want you all to understand the gravity of the situation we're in. There exists a ray gun that deals infinite damage, that obliterates a whole horde with a single round, with you taking no damage whatsoever, that you can perform 54 times. And the icing on the cake is that there's absolutely no reason to charge your shots, unlike other wonder weapons like Alistair's Folly where it's required. The blobs don't get any stronger by charging the Y variant since they already deal infinite damage, but they also use up an entire magazine. The blob will get much bigger and have a larger blast radius, but it doesn't matter since the primary attack already kills 24 zombies on its own. This absolute unit, arguably the undisputed best in Black Ops 4 Zombies, but in my opinion, the last entry on this list just barely beat it. And here we are, number 1. We started with a ray gun, and now we're gonna end with one. Behold, the Ray Gun Mark II-V. This thing is so busted that it feels like a crime to use it when playing Alpha Omega. The Y variant is already a COD Zombies player's dream, so how could it get any more insane? I'll tell ya. It has infinite ammo with a rechargeable 150 rounds that takes a mere 27 seconds to go from 0 to full. So right off the bat, it's on track to be better than every single gun in the game because you don't have to worry about max ammos. And if you do get one, your meter gets completely replenished. The fire rate is obviously lightning fast. It's a yellow laser beam that stuns nearby zombies, creating a mini Wunderwaffe effect. But how about the damage? It's gotta be infinite to have made it on the number 1 spot, right? Yes. It's 1300. To the body. A secret trick up the Mark II-V's non-existent sleeves that many people don't know about is that, like the OG Mark II that it spawns from, has a downright outrageous headshot multiplier. I wasn't able to find the exact number anywhere, but believe me when I say that when you aim for the head with this beauty, it turns any zombie on any round to dust. It pretty much has infinite damage, infinite ammo, and can kill an infinite amount of zombies. Now, I personally prefer the Y variant more because it's much safer, but I cannot deny the sheer, raw, unadulterated force that the Mark V is. It may kill slow, but it utterly barrels through anything in its path forever and ever. No breaking and reassembling like the jet gun, no power drop off by a certain round like the paralyzer, no worries about running out of ammo like every weapon on this list. Just become Death, destroyer of worlds in the wacky land of Nuketown. How fitting.